At the very beginning, I would like to thank you all for having the time to attend this live webinar. And the topic we will discuss today, inshallah, is um, using the rope access technique in cement industry. At the very beginning, I would like to give you a brief about our company, SKYMAINT. Um, SKYMAINT has multiple type of services or different categories which we can cover. The first thing is the industrial climbing or the rope access technique, where we can do a lot of working at height activities using this valuable and safe, cost-effective technique, as we will see, inshallah, compared to any other traditional methodology we used to use or employ earlier. We are also involved in maintenance, audit, and consultancy. We can do some sort of audit on the maintenance activities, and we can also give some sort of consultancy in terms of the maintenance management systems, the tools which being hired and used, and so on. Uh, the third scope of our company is uh, online education platform. So currently we have few courses we are teaching online. For the time being, it's being published on Udemy. If you are familiar with Udemy, www.udemy.com. It's one of the famous education platforms available, and we are working on building our own education platform. We call it SKYMAINT Academy, and inshallah, once it's completed and finished in terms of design and everything, because we need also to give the opportunity to other instructors and other experts to upload their courses and also to share their knowledge and experience and expertise with us. We're also authorized distributor for Nordlock, which is one of the global leaders in terms of manufacturing of super bolts and lock nuts, ridge nuts, and so on. Well, briefly, our mission is to be a reliable, trustworthy, and responsible partner to our customers, and also this we are aiming to achieve through offering high quality and professional products and services with fast response and readiness. Our vision is to be one of the leading innovative solutions providers in the MENA region. This is a snapshot of our website, SKYMAINT, where you can pay a quick visit if you like, www.skymaint.com, and over there you can see as well the different, you can access the different type of services that we are offering, either in terms of industrial climbing or maintenance, consultancy and auditing, or online academy. This is a brief of the courses that we are offering in Udemy, and inshallah we are planning to offer as well on our new education platform, SKYMAINT Academy. We have some of the topics which we are have had the pleasure and honor to teach, like maintenance management basics, maintenance planning basics, Pareto analysis, or how to use Pareto analysis in industrial applications, and also using drones in business. Let's go now through, or let's go quickly and hit our today's topic, which is using the rope access technique in the cement industries. And as we see underneath here, that the rope access technique is a fast technique, a safe technique, and a cost-effective technique as well. At the very beginning, I would like to give you a brief history about the rope access technique. Rope access, as we know it today, began early at the 80s, where it was adopted actually or originally from the cavers, people who were trying to discover caves and climb mountains and discover caves. They are called cavers. This technique was basically adapted from those people. It was a hobby, and then the industrial sector started to get the help of those climbers in order to do some activities or execute some activities, working at height activities using this rope access technique, especially in the difficult to access or inaccessible areas or locations. And then later on, the system of the rope access, it was employed, it was developed with more safety and more regulations and concerns. And now it almost dominates all working at height activities because of its main features or characteristics that we mentioned, because it's fast, safe, and cost effective as well. Rope access quickly became the standard approach to reaching previously inaccessible areas, and nowadays you can see um, uh, uh, technically oriented people like all technicians or mechanics or whatever their expertise are, and then they start to get the training course of the climbing or rope access course through a well-known and qualified company, and then they integrate both the technical expertise that they have and also using the rope access technique. So they become industrial climbers, as we can call it today. And this is what the privilege of our team actually, because most of our team were ex industry, like cement industry or oil and gas or even steel industry, and they got the training. They were well trained on the rope access technique, so they can just use it to apply their previous expertise in a safe way, in a fast way. With exceptional safety records and the advantage of being highly cost effective, nowadays rope access took over all the working at height industry by storm. So if you compare it, for example, to the scaffolding, in addition to the hassle of building a scaffold and the time and money waste, and also it's not safe as the rope access, as we will see when we go through the details. Still, you will face a lot of hassles using this type of uh, technique if we compare to the scaffolding, for example. Of course, rope access will win the battle because it's as we keep saying, it's fast, safe, and cost effective. Um, we cannot talk about rope access without mentioning the core organization, or the main organization, which was developed and created in order to organize the community of the industrial climbers. This famous organization and well-known organization is called IRATA, and IRATA briefly stands for Industrial Rope Access Trade Association. It was formed in the UK in 1987, and its main objective or primary objective was to provide regulations and restrictions and advices to make sure all the time a safe, or to ensure all the time a safe working environment for rope access industry. For the time being, more than 400 companies are members of this famous organization called IRATA. And by the way, IRATA has the credibility to give other schools and other organizations the credibility of being well-trained and qualified rope access member. So, for example, most of the schools out there now teaching this amazing technique, they have to get approved and accredited by IRATA in order to be able to teach other students. This is a brief description touching the main equipments used in the rope access technique and used by the industrial climber. The first thing or the main thing is the rope itself, and usually it's a low stretch, or we can call it current mantle and dynamic. The diameter of the rope itself, it might vary from 10.5 mm up till 11 mm, and actually the ropes we are using in our company, it's up to 12 mm even. And then we go to the safety helmet here. Okay, and as we see, it has to be hooked up with chin straps. So when the climber is going up and down, the helmet all the time on top of his head, so it will be more safe for him, especially when he's working in confined spaces, or in risky areas where you have some other people working on top of you as well during turnarounds or shutdowns where multiple activities are being executed within the same time. The following thing is the fall arrest harness, and this is for arrest harness actually is special for industrial climbers or for rope access technique. Usually it has attachment in the back and the chest and the ventral as well to protect the climber if, God forbids, if he falls down. So make sure that he, sorry, the safety harness is really protecting him and can absorb any shocks. I'm sorry. The next thing is the foot loop, and this strap is very important because the climber or rope access user is using it to climb up. Okay, as we will see later on in our video, how the industrial climber is using this foot loop to climb up. And the last thing is the hand ascender, which is being used also to lock on the rope when you climb up. So he used this hand ascender and the foot loop to push himself up, and then he can start move the hand ascender to lock on the rope and hang himself. And finally, last but not least, this is the descender right here, which the industrial climber is using to go down after he finish the job, or if he wants to maneuver or move from one place to the other. Let's stay together and watch this video, which will give you a better idea how the alpinist or the industrial climber is using the access technique to maneuver and move from now.
So this is a demonstration of a long rope trans between the ropes, so there is potential to take a large swing. I also need to make sure that I get hold of the new set, ride them together using an overhand knot. And I'm going to head up one set of ropes to the other, or you might be trying to cover the area in between. And better on doing this in a couple of steps. I'm going to climb up a short distance. And before I worry about anything else, I need to make sure that I've just climbed up. So I'm going to load up my descender. Come up and out and roll. And I'm just going to take that hand set. So I'm now going to get hold of the new set of ropes. And if you're right-handed, it's definitely worth it. And one of those ropes, so I'll pull through a little bit of rope on that, just to get a bit of tension on the same rope. And this is where it's different from the short rope transfer. So on the short one, we have the option of taking this back above. This one off, if this rope's failed, it's going to be a big out of control swing this time. So what we need to do instead, I'm going to use my dust to do that. So I've now got 4 points to transfer. So I'll put the foot in my foot loop. I've got the foot loop running on the inside of my knee, that's my leg. I'm going to pull the rope through the crawl. I just like climbing up a rope normally every time you make a move up. If the duck is slide up, and then I'm going to turn my attention back to this side. So I can't take any back at all, but I'm just going to check that it's not there. And if I'm getting close to the ground, I'll then lock it off. As you step down, pull the rope through the crawl. And I'm aiming to get just higher. That should do. I'll just keep it back up nice and high. And this time, shoots I get in the vertical across here. There's no more swing potential, so both connections on this side well.
So as we can see here, clearly how he used the foot loop to push himself up, to climb up, and the ascender to lock his position, or to lock himself into the new position. Also, we have seen how he's maneuvering or moving from one place to another using more than one rope, and how he's connecting himself to the other rope and releasing himself from the current position to a low position, and so on. How is he climbing up and climbing down, or going down as well, or ascending and descending? And of course, alpinists, as a rule of thumb, must be well trained, certified on rope access techniques, know how to do this ascending, descending, and transfer techniques, and on top of this, we know very well how to rescue each other. This is very important because sometimes, the alpinist or the industrial climber could face sometimes of feeling tired, or feeling not feeling well. So we need someone to help him, because he might not be able to get himself out of the place or the space or the location he was in. So he had to, or he has to rely on his colleague to rescue him to a safe place. And this is why in almost all the jobs, we are when we are using or doing risk assessment and proposing our method of statement, we have to have 2 alpinists or 2 industrial climbers working together on the same job, in addition to a watching man. So in case one of the alpinists got sick, or he was tired, or whatever, or he was facing any trouble or difficult situation, so his colleague can help him and can rescue him easily. This is the rescue kit that being used. By the way, those are our team, part of our team. Okay, and as you can see here, both of them, or each and every alpinist, is equipped he's equipped with the rescue technique. He's equipped with the rescue kit. I'm sorry, as well as the harness, helmet, the foot loop, and everything, all the other tools. He has also to be equipped with the rescue kit, so he can rescue his colleague in case they were exposed to a difficult situation or something. And as we can see here, that it's very easy for him to maneuver and to hook himself to his colleague rope, or to hook his colleague as well to his own rope, and then so he can climb down or go down together to the safest location or place. This is a sample of our alpinists certificate. So, essentially, by the way, our team, the majority of our team is from Algeria. So this is why you will find the certificate in French, because they are studying in French as well, as you might know. So this is a sample of the certificate, or the graduation certificate. And as we, or as I mentioned earlier, that those schools, for example, the school here that certified our team, it has to be accredited and approved by IRATA as well. Now let's talk about the some examples of the industrial rope access activities, especially in cement industry. The most famous one is the silo cleaning, because as you all know that in order to clean the silo, we have few techniques are out there in the market, but to be honest, none of them is either neither cost effective nor effective in terms of the solution itself. For example, if you're familiar with the gyro machine, which is like blender, goes down and it starts to hit the side wall of the silo itself to hit the build-ups and to move the build-up so it will fall down. But in most of the cases, these build-ups are a bit sticky. So in some cases that we used to face, we have to use hammer jacks in order to move this material and to get rid of this build-ups from the side wall of the silo itself. Thickness measurement is one of the activities also, and we'll see we have some contracts with some well-known companies to do this thickness measurements, especially for chimneys, for ducts, and so on. Dip tube inspection, and this is one of the critical jobs actually, because in most of the turnarounds, because I'm coming also from cement background, so I know almost in each and every shutdown we have to check the dip tube. It's expensive. It's not cheap to replace it every shutdown. And on the same, on the other hand, it's difficult also not to inspect it, because you need to make sure that it will not fall down after you start the kiln back, and because if it falls down, it will block the cyclones, and you have to stop the kiln again to get it out of the cyclones and so on. So it's a big issue. So what we are doing is we can take advantage of this rope access technique to do inspection. Okay, what is the advantage? The advantage is that you can use the rope access without the need of building a scaffold inside each and every cyclone to inspect every single dip tube. Of course, some of the tubes you can replace it preventively every 2 years or every 3 years. It depends on your experience and the manufacturer or the casting foundry that you are dealing with. It depends on the recommendation and your operating conditions as well. But in most of the cases, we are taking advantage of this rope access technique in order to do this inspection without any need to build a scaffold inside the cyclone itself. And we can, record a video. We can take measurements, or using even the vernier to take some measurements from at the segments of the tube itself, and then we can either recommend or we can send all the data to the foundry or the supplier, the tube supplier, so we can advise you to replace it or not. The next activity that we can do is cladding, repair, and replacement. Of course, we cannot, if you have a small piece fall down from a conditioning tower or whatever, it's very difficult to build a scaffolding from the bottom all the way up just to replace a small piece. And this small piece might be a pain in the neck, in terms of process. So we need to repair it or cover it or replace it with another one. And here, the the rope access technique comes to help you solve this problem in a cheap and safe way as well. Metal sheets installation, welding, and repair as well is very easy to be done using rope access technique. Mechanical installations, paintings, of course, and building cleanings or HFO tanks cleaning as well can be used or be done and executed using the rope access. This is a video, a sample video, and also some photos that we can employ or hire the rope access technique to execute. For example, here we can see people are sometimes they use the axis, sometimes they use the hammer jacks in order to clean. Here we can use the cladding, they are replacing cladding. You can see it's not a small area, not a big area, so you cannot build a scaffold to go around the whole condition without reach this area, for example. It's very expensive, very costly. So we can hire the rope access technique to do this. Here we can see some of the casting or bricks or patching inside the cyclones, as we can see here. Also, the expansion joint replacement we can also do it using the rope access, especially with the tough and hard areas or inaccessible areas. So actually, you can imagine, name it. I mean, you have a lot of applications, a lot of jobs that you can use rope access technique to do or to execute. Just to give you some example of the latest contracts that we won in Saudi Arabia. For example, we had 2 contracts with the Saudi Cement. This is our team, by the way. We had the honor to have this team in Saudi Cement to do these 2 major jobs during the 2 main shutdowns for line 7 and line 8. This is a list actually of the activities that we had executed during that time. We had done inspection and measuring the thickness of the main baghouse chimney and the bypass chimney, and we did the inspection and measuring thickness of preheated downcomer and the thickness, measuring the thickness and inspection of the vertical roll mills ducts. These are also samples of sample videos of the work being done in Saudi Cement. Okay, as we see here, you can see this chimney here had no ladder, had no access, so we had to build our own access to climb up and then to expand our 4, because usually 2, as we mentioned, 2 alpinists are being hired to measure the thickness of this chimney. So we have to extend 4 different wires, 2 wires per each alpinist. This info also I forgot to mention earlier, because each and every alpinist has to have 2 ropes. One of them is the main rope that he's climbing up and down using it, and the second rope is a safety rope where he has to use in case that, God forbids, the first rope was cut or he has a problem, so he can use it as a backup rope to save him, or to be more safer for him to work. You see here, there are some repairs being done inside the chimney, because some problems or holes were found in this chimney. Here also they are measuring the thickness, and you can see a lot of chips worn out. It was coming out coming out of the chimney itself. And here also we are welding some anchoring points in order to be used to climb up on the chimney to start to measure it from the all the way up to all the way down. Sorry. Well, this is a sample of the thickness measurement report that we introduced or offered to Saudi Cement after we finished the job. So we give them detailed measurement report. Okay, we had taken 4 points around the circumference of the chimney. And every single meter, we take 4 points of measurements for the whole chimney. The chimney was around, one of them was around 167 meters. So you can imagine that how many points we have measured, and you can imagine how much it will cost you in order to build a scaffold along the whole length of the chimney in order to measure the thickness and assess the metal sheet thicknesses as well. We also give some recommendations in order to either repair the metal sheets because the thickness was really low and it exceeds the alarming point around 70% or 75% of the thickness was worn out, so it has to be repaired. So we recommended to add additional sheet, metal sheet, to protect the worn part. These are some of our major findings. By the way, the company was exposed earlier to major problem in the ducts in the vertical roll mills. And thank God when they hired us actually during this shutdown to inspect these ducts after they replaced it earlier, like 3 years or 2 years back. So we had some major wear and tear in the ducts, and thank God they had the time during the shutdown to replace or repair this type of findings. Well, at the end, I would like to thank you so much for attending this webinar, and I hope it added some value or some knowledge to you as well. And we will be more than happy to answer any further question from your side, either through contacting us through our email or our website. We will be also more than happy to offer our services. We have a very good team, well qualified, well trained, and well experienced as well. We have been working in different activities, and we will be at your request anytime. Thank you so much, and wish to see you soon in our coming webinar. Have a great day.